The royal crown of Nepal was a masterpiece of absurd extravagance. 730 diamonds, more than 2,000 pearls, and rubies and emeralds large enough to blind a jeweler. This wasn't some ceremonial accessory. It was a visual flex of wealth, legacy, and absolute authority. It first appeared in 1768 on the head of King Prithvi Narayan Shah, the very founder of unified Nepal. The crown wasn't just worn. It was wielded like a symbol of divine power, passed down from king to king through generations, each one adding to its myth. This video takes a close look at 12 of the most beautiful and famous crown jewels ever crafted, each one a stunning relic, frozen in time yet alive with the echoes of power and pageantry. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more exciting stuff. Number 12. Royal Crown of Nepal. By 2001, it resurfaced for the coronation of King Gyanendra, the last monarch to wear it. That ceremony would unknowingly be the final act of a centuries-old royal tradition. Just 7 years later, in a stunning political shift, the monarchy collapsed. After 239 years of Shah dynasty rule, King Gyanendra stepped down, and Nepal officially became a republic. No more kings, no more crowns. The throne, once thought untouchable, vanished almost overnight. What happened to the crown after that? That's where the mystery sets in. For something once displayed with such pride, its fate is strangely quiet. Locked away, hidden from the public eye, or perhaps guarded like a relic of a past the nation no longer wants to revisit. A royal symbol, once paraded in ceremonies and portraits, now potentially collecting dust, forgotten by the republic it once ruled. The fall was fast, the silence louder than any royal decree. Number 11. The Atala Cross. In the late 1980s, something changed in the way Princess Diana wore her jewelry, and it was loud, bold, and unapologetically defiant. At the center of that transformation stood a striking crucifix pendant, created in the 1920s by the prestigious London jeweler Garrard. Set with square-cut amethysts and framed by 5.2-carat diamonds, the piece was anything but subtle. It was never hers, technically. The pendant belonged to Naim Atala, then joint managing director of Asprey and Garrard and a close friend of Diana's. He never lent it to anyone else. Only Diana, and only for select public appearances. That exclusivity turned it from a luxury item into something far more intimate, a jewel shared in confidence. One of the most unforgettable sightings was at the 1987 Birthright Charity Ball. Diana paired the crucifix with a dramatic purple gown and her own pearl necklace, crafting a look that walked the line between royalty and rebellion. It wasn't just fashion, it was messaging. By that time, her personal life was under scrutiny, but her style spoke of independence, authority, and confidence growing with every public step. Years later, the pendant resurfaced in the headlines when it was purchased by Kim Kardashian, a self-made billionaire known for redefining celebrity influence. Her acquisition stirred reactions. But for many, it marked a fitting continuation. A powerful woman owning a piece once worn by another who used fashion to reclaim her voice. The cross, long symbolic, now hangs with an entirely new story behind it. Number 10. La Peregrina Pearl. La Peregrina isn't just a pearl. It's a witness to centuries of royal obsession, political power, and Hollywood romance. Discovered off the coast of Panama in 1576, this pear-shaped treasure weighs 202.24 grains, roughly 50.56 carats, and is widely regarded as one of the most perfect natural pearls ever found. Its first famous owner? King Philip II of Spain, who gifted it to Queen Mary I of England. From there, it passed through the hands of Spanish royalty and eventually landed with Joseph Napoleon Bonaparte, Napoleon's older brother. But the real twist came centuries later. In 1969, Richard Burton purchased La Peregrina for Elizabeth Taylor and had it set into an elaborate necklace designed by Cartier. That chapter turned the historic gem into something even more legendary. Taylor, known for her flamboyant love of jewels, nearly lost the pearl when she noticed her puppy gnawing on something suspicious on the carpet. It was the pearl, between the dog's teeth. She managed to rescue it, thankfully, before any real damage was done. The pearl's story didn't end there. In 2011, La Peregrina went under the hammer at Christie's, New York, and fetched an astonishing $11,842,500, making it the most expensive natural pearl ever sold at auction at the time. It's rare for one jewel to be tied to royalty, revolution, and silver screen glamour all at once. But La Peregrina wears that history like a crown, and survives it with bite marks to prove it. Number 9. St. Wenceslas Crown. Forged in 1347 for Charles IV, the 11th King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, the St. Wenceslas crown wasn't just a royal accessory. It was a symbol of divine right and national identity. Crafted from 21 to 22 karat gold, about 88 to 92% purity, the crown is richly adorned with shimmering pearls and precious stones that reflect both power and piety. Charles IV dedicated the crown to Saint Wenceslas, Bohemia's first patron saint, and decreed it would serve as the official state crown for all future Bohemian kings. Unlike many royal treasures showcased in glass cases under bright lights, this crown lives in near-total secrecy. The original isn't casually paraded for tourists. It's sealed away behind a hidden door inside St. Vitus Cathedral, tucked within the St. Wenceslas Chapel. Only a replica is shown to the public. And the real one? It only comes out once every 5 years, and only for a few days during truly historic or solemn national events. The last time the actual crown was displayed was in May 2016, marking the 700th anniversary of Charles IV's birth. That moment brought crowds, cameras, and curiosity. But then, the doors closed once again. This isn't a crown that thrives on attention. It holds on to its mystery, its sanctity, and its chilling presence, standing silently in the shadows of history. For Bohemia, and now the Czech Republic, it's more than royal regalia. It's a locked vault of national soul. Number 8. Corona Ferrea. Sitting quietly in the Cathedral of Monza near Milan is a relic that has crowned emperors and fueled centuries of myth. The Iron Crown of Lombardy. Thought to have been crafted as early as the 4th century, it's widely regarded as one of the oldest surviving Christian royal artifacts in existence. But this isn't just gold and gemstones. Inside the crown is a narrow iron band that legend claims was forged from a nail used in the crucifixion. That sacred connection transformed what might have been a royal symbol into a spiritual one, something closer to a relic than a crown. The exterior is made of 6 golden segments, each joined by tiny hinges. Some of the surfaces are coated in enamel, while 22 gemstones sit raised from the gold, shaped into stylized flowers and crosses. It's both simple and intricate, powerful without being overly ornate. Originally believed to be a votive object, it was eventually used for the coronation of kings, including those of Italy by at least the 14th century, though scholars now believe its current form blends craftsmanship from both the 4th, 5th, and the 9th centuries. The last man to wear it was Emperor Ferdinand I, crowned in Milan on September 6, 1838, as King of Lombardy and Venetia. Since then, the Iron Crown has been a symbol frozen in time. It no longer rests on royal heads, but it continues to weigh heavily in the story of power, faith, and identity in Europe. Number 7. Holy Crown of Hungary. Resting under heavy guard in Hungary's parliament today is an object that once decided who could rule and who couldn't, the Holy Crown of Hungary, also known as the Crown of St. Stephen. This isn't just ceremonial headwear. For centuries, it was the only crown that mattered. Without it, a coronation wasn't valid. A man could wear royal robes, issue decrees, even lead armies. But without this crown on his head, he was no true king in the eyes of the Hungarian people. The crown's first mention as holy dates back to 1256, but its significance deepened in the 14th century. It wasn't the king who legitimized the crown, it was the crown that legitimized the king. The Hungarian philosopher and crown guard Peter of E once wrote that this object meant to the Hungarians what the Ark of the Covenant meant to the Jewish people. It wasn't just a symbol of rule. It was the soul of a nation cast in metal. The last coronation with it was King Charles IV on December 30th, 1916, amid the chaos of World War I. A tragic figure, Charles tried to broker peace in a collapsing empire, torn between enemies on both sides. During World War II, the crown was moved to the United States for safekeeping, where it remained until January 6, 1978, when it was finally returned to Hungary. Today, it sits beneath a glass dome in the Parliament House, not on a king's head, but still at the heart of a nation's identity. Number 6, Crown of the Andes. This crown wasn't made for kings, emperors, or warlords. It was crafted for someone far more revered in the eyes of the people, the Virgin Mary. Known as the Crown of the Andes, it's one of the few treasures on this list created purely for divine homage. Born in Popayán, Colombia, this sacred piece took 6 years to complete, with 25 goldsmiths pouring their skill and devotion into every detail. Crafted from 5.3 pounds of pure 20-karat gold and encrusted with an astonishing 1,500 carats of brilliant green Colombian emeralds, the crown radiates reverence. Completed in 1599, It wasn't worn or paraded often. Only on very special occasions did this piece of sacred art see daylight. But its story took a sharp turn in 1650 when English pirates stole it. For 3 days, it disappeared into the chaos of looting until a street brawl ended the heist. The crown resurfaced in 1812, returned to its rightful home by none other than Libertador Simón Bolívar himself. Today, the crown of the Andes rests behind us at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. But it's more than just a display of colonial artistry. It's a cultural bridge, a deeply personal reflection of the Spanish colonial devotion, and a reminder of a time when faith, identity, and craftsmanship were tightly intertwined. Every emerald and curve tells a story, not of conquest, but of spiritual reverence passed down through centuries. Number 5. St. Edward's Crown. St. Edward's Crown isn't just the most iconic piece of British regalia. It's the crown that seals the deal between the people and their monarch. Forged with history and draped in tradition, it carries centuries of legacy on its heavy gold frame. Named after St. Edward the Confessor, this masterpiece has played a central role in coronations since the 1200s. The original was housed in Westminster Abbey, resting near Edward's burial site, treated less as a royal accessory and more as a sacred relic. But during the English Civil War, the monarchy collapsed, and in 1649, Parliament ordered the regalia sold off or melted down. What once symbolized divine right was now scrap. The current version of the crown rose from that political ash heap. It was recreated and reintroduced under George V, reviving the ancient custom. And since then, every British monarch has worn it at their coronation, including Queen Elizabeth II. What's fascinating is that despite reigning for over 68 years, Queen Elizabeth II had only seen the crown 3 times in person by the time of her historic Platinum Jubilee. That speaks volumes about how rarely it's used and how closely it's guarded. Heavy in both weight and meaning, the crown is rarely brought out, almost never worn, and steeped in ceremony. It's not about daily pageantry. It's about a singular, irreversible moment of power and tradition passed on through generations. Today, it remains the heart of the British monarchy's visual identity, locked away in the Tower of London except when history calls. Number 4. Empress Crown of Persia. In October 1967, history was rewritten inside Tehran's Golestan Palace. For the first time since the Muslim conquest of Iran, a woman was crowned as monarch. Empress Farah Pahlavi, wife of Mohammad Reza Shah, stood beneath the chandeliers and became the first female in 20,500 years of Persian monarchy to wear a crown. This wasn't a borrowed relic from past dynasties. It had to be built from scratch. No previous Persian queen had ever worn one. Crafted from white gold and lined with lush green velvet, the crown itself was a dazzling composition of precious stones and political symbolism. It carried 1,469 diamonds, 36 emeralds, 34 rubies, 2 spinels, and 105 pearls. Each gem wasn't just decorative, it marked a shift in centuries of tradition, a bold nod to the Shah's modernization drive under the White Revolution, which had aimed, among other things, to expand rights for women. This crown wasn't merely ceremonial. It was a visual declaration of power, progress, and change, designed at a time when Iran was positioning itself as a modern empire with ancient roots. And yet, the moment it was placed on Empress Farah's head, it also marked the beginning of the end. Less than a dozen years later, the monarchy was overthrown, and she would become not only the first crowned empress of modern Iran, but the last. Today, that crown stands frozen in time, both a symbol of opulence and a monument to a vanished dynasty. Number 3. Pahlavi crown. In 1925, Reza Shah decided the newly established Pahlavi dynasty needed a crown worthy of a modern Persian monarchy, one that could rival the splendor of any empire past or present. Out went the Qajar-era Kiani crown. It came something bold, radiant, and unmistakably regal. The result was the Pahlavi crown, created under the careful guidance of master jeweler Haj Saraddin Javaheri, drawing inspiration from the glory days of the ancient Sassanid Empire, which had ruled Persia over a millennium earlier. Built from gold, silver, and deep red velvet, this crown was anything but subtle. Embedded into its structure are 3,380 diamonds, totaling a jaw-dropping 1,144 carats. At its heart, a 60-carat yellow diamond blazes like a miniature sun, surrounded by a burst of brilliant white stones. The crown also showcases 5 large emeralds weighing a combined 200 carats, with the biggest one alone nearing 100 carats. Adding to the grandeur, 369 nearly identical natural white pearls wrap around the frame in 3 elegant rows. The last time it was worn was on October 26, 1967, during the coronation of Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, a moment that symbolized the peak of royal extravagance before the storm of revolution swept through Iran. Despite the upheaval that followed, the Pahlavi crown survived. Today, it rests behind armored glass in the Central Bank of Iran, a frozen reminder of a monarchy that once ruled with diamonds, velvet, and fire. Number 2. Imperial State Crown. The Imperial State Crown stands as a vivid emblem of British monarchy and history, tracing its roots back to the 15th century. The current design, crafted in 1937, carries forward a centuries-old tradition and is the crown worn by the monarch after their coronation. What makes this crown truly captivating isn't just its dazzling appearance, but the stories woven into its very gems. At the front sits the famed Black Prince's ruby, a deep red gem that's actually a spinel, not a ruby. This stone carries a dramatic past. It once belonged to Pedro the Cruel, King of Castile, who handed it over to Edward, the Prince of Wales, known as the Black Prince, in 1367. This was no ordinary gift. It was a reward for his military support in defeating a rival. The fact that this piece of history now sits at the heart of the Imperial State Crown is a powerful reminder of how gemstones can carry centuries of alliances, battles, and royal intrigue. More than just a symbol of power, the crown represents continuity and tradition. Its jewels have witnessed royal ceremonies, shifts in history, and the ever-changing face of the monarchy. The Imperial State Crown embodies a legacy that's as much about stories and symbolism as it is about sparkling diamonds and precious metals, making it a true treasure of the United Kingdom. Number 1. Grand Imperial Crown. The Great Imperial Crown of Russia is a masterpiece of craftsmanship and history. Worn by Russian monarchs from 1762 until the fall of the monarchy in 1917. It made its grand debut at the coronation of Catherine the Great, setting a high standard for royal regalia. What catches the eye first are nearly 5,000 diamonds, 4,936 to be exact, meticulously arranged to create dazzling patterns that cover the crown's entire surface. Along its edges, large, lustrous white pearls add a touch of elegance, framing the sparkling diamonds like a regal necklace. One of the crown's most remarkable features is a massive red spinel weighing 398.72 carats, about 79 grams, making it one of the largest spinels in the world. This gem has a fascinating history, brought to Russia by Nicholas Spafari, the envoy to China in the late 17th century. This spinel is one of 7 historic stones in the Russian diamond collection, adding to the crown's immense value and prestige. The crown's final public appearance was at the coronation of Nicholas II, Russia's last Tsar, and it was displayed prominently during the 1906 opening of the Russian Duma. Remarkably, the crown survived the turmoil of the 1917 revolution and now resides safely in Moscow's Kremlin Armory's State Diamond Fund, where it remains a stunning symbol of Russia's imperial past, shimmering with nearly $20 million worth of diamonds and gemstones. Thanks for joining us on this dazzling journey through history's most beautiful and famous crown jewels. If you enjoyed uncovering the stories behind these incredible symbols of power and legacy, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world. See you in the next video.